Alright, now in this section, again, we're still going to be in the topic of pull routes. Again, as I said in the beginner's manual, we go much more in depth in the pull routes now, so you guys are going to see all of it. So again, now we're going to utilize pull routes such as, flats and smoke screens. But again, one quick thing here is I want to add on something from the last video. So again, when we were talking about pull routes versus cover 2, I just really want to show you guys the difference of what it looks like when you don't utilize a pull route. To pull these deep halves out versus cover 2, or kind of what the difference is when you're not utilizing these pull routes. So last time we were utilizing comebacks to pull out the deep half. So let's show you. I want to show you guys what happens when we don't do that. Let's just use like a drag instead, which is common. Look at how much covered this is now. Like, we're not going to even really be able to throw that. Whereas before it was an easy touchdown, as long as we had someone with some throw power. Now this free safety is not getting pulled at all, so he's kind of just sitting in the middle of the field because there's nobody running in his area. See, he's always going to run towards that deep outside first because that is his responsibility. But the zones are smart, so once this deep half realizes that there's no one running in this area, he's going to drift back towards the middle of the field instead of running towards this deep outside. And so it's going to make this really an impossible throw to bomb here. There's really not going to be a window at any time to really bomb this because, again, this free safety is not being occupied by anybody in the deep half, which is his responsibility. So, again, he just naturally drifts towards the middle of the field. And, again, it's going to be extremely easy for him to make this play now. All right, but let's kind of get to the flat routes now. Again, flat routes. Again, we're going to be utilizing the flat route to kind of pull out a cloud or a purple to open up another underneath route. So, again, here's a fairly popular concept every year. So again, and let me show you why. Now you guys are going to get to understand why this concept is so effective and so popular every year. So again, it's usually with a play called mesh post where, B is going to be on something like this. Again, it's called mesh post, and again, it's a really popular play every single year with this halfback wheel route. And let me show you guys why. And again, we're going to be utilizing pull routes again, but instead it's going to be with an out route, a flat, or a smoke screen. So watch what the out route does on the left side. Again, it's going to, as you see here, so we have a purple zone on the field. We'll change it to like a cloud. And watch how the cloud reacts to the out route. So again, now you see how we're utilizing the cloud to kind of pull out the out route to open up, something to go down the middle here. So again, if we don't have this out route, there's nothing for the cloud to really do. So it's going to be able to play something like this wheel route here. Again, because think about it, you got to think what are the main responsibility of these zones. And again, we talked about this in the beginner manual how, the clouds are designed to guard the corner routes. They're designed to guard the outside of the field. These clouds are getting to the hashes as quick as possible. They're getting to the silent as quick as possible. And so when we have an out route out here, the cloud is going to drift with it because, again, the cloud's main responsibility is to guard this outside. And when we run a receiver in that area, the defender is going to respect his responsibility. He's going to play his role, and he's going to run to the outside. And that's what's going to open up this running back wheel route. And again, people do this concept out of under center a lot as well. Again, really popular out of, let's see, we have no we don't, but really popular concept as well out of under center that you will see a lot of pros do that run under center. Now let me kind of show you guys how it's like when we don't have that pull route on the field. So again, we're going to have that cloud again. Again, this is a big mistake a lot of people make when designing their route combos is they do not utilize pull routes to get open other receivers. So then they'll notice they're going to have trouble getting open, people that they should be getting open now. Again, this is definitely an element that you want to add into your game 1000%. You need pull routes in your game. You got to understand them and understand how to implement them. So again, we're not going to use a pull route here. Now watch how the Cloud reacts now. Again, he's going to come inside and look how much tougher of a throw that is now. Again, it's going to be almost impossible to kind of fit that pass in. Again, it's going to be an extremely tight window. And again, the reason why is the Cloud's responsibility is the outside part of the field, but if there's no receiver running to this outside part of the field, the Cloud has no reason to run out there. Again, we're not using a route to kind of hold the Cloud. So now that the Cloud sees that there's no receiving threat over here in his main responsibility, the Cloud's going to kind of go elsewhere, and he's going to play. You see how he's going to kind of play inside now in this little drag route, and again, he's not going to fully go towards the outside because there's no receiver out here. So now he's in position to play this running back wheel. Again, let's do this one more time so you guys can kind of see how big of a difference it is when we have that pull route. So again, let's do that again here. Again, now watch how this watch how the Cloud reacts now. See, before the Cloud was running inside, because again we had a drag kind of running into a real wheel route. So, but now that we're utilizing a pull route or utilizing a route to kind of hold this Cloud, utilizing a route that's running towards the outside to get the Cloud's attention, to get him to play his main responsibility. Now we're taking the Cloud out of the play, and that's what's going to open up this route over the middle of the field, this little running back route the middle of the field. And see, now before the Cloud was in great position to play this wheel route, but since we utilize a pull route here, now he's nowhere close to playing this. Again, and we can do this out of something like trips as well. So again, we use a flat here instead, and we use it with something like a slant. Again, these are the most common type of pull routes, or most commonly used route combos with pull routes are going to be with a running back wheel route or kind of like a slant. So do something like this. Again, see how we have this Cloud here, Cloud over here. Again, so we're gonna have to kind of have a route on the field to kind of pull this Cloud. So again, this is personally one of my favorite route concepts. I'll do something like this, do something like that. But again, I mainly have this tight and flat so I can pull out any outside zones. So again, watch. You see how that Cloud is kind of pulled out by that tight end flat. So that's why I designed my play like this. I did this on purpose with the flat, so I can hold any outside zones to open up this slant for me. So now I'm going to be able to low ball this slant kind of in between any zone. And it's all because, again, we have this little tight end flat. And again, the Cloud's main responsibility is his outside. So we run a receiver to his area. Again, we pull him out with the flat. And again, that's what opens up this slant here. Now let me show you guys what happens if we don't utilize the pull route. Now let's set it up like this. Again, this is a big mistake a lot of people make, is not utilizing these or not being aware of them when designing their plays. Again, it's almost impossible to create well-spaced route combinations or effective route combinations without utilizing pull routes effectively. See there, see there, the Cloud played that a little bit poorly, but again, I guess he was kind of pulled inside by the pulse route. That was interesting. And see, that's where you go to practice mode, because you can learn new things like that. But you see how this Cloud now is not being pulled to the outside, so he's kind of in play to play this slant route. And again, he kind of got over there slowly, but again, he's not in great. He's not being pulled to the outside. There, I guess he was pulled a little bit inside by the other post route, but that was not intentional. And that's also something too when you have low zone. So let me put someone like Gilmore in the slot, because someone like Jones really didn't play his responsibility there, and that's going to be because of his low zone coverage. So if you're playing something, if you're playing a mode like Mutt, or oh no, that was actually, that guy did have decent zone, but let's put someone like Gilmore here. So let's do something like this. Again, same thing. Again, you're going to notice that the Cloud is going to be able to drift towards the middle, and he's going to be in good position for a slant route now. See, now he's just like all over there, and it makes it a super scary pass. Whereas before, you know, we had a huge window there to kind of throw the slant route. Whereas now they're just kind of running. Now the Cloud is kind of free to play this slant, come inside and play this slant route because we don't have a flat route on the outside pulling it. So again, it just makes this a super duper scary throw. Again, so let's set it up like this. Do something like this. Be a better example. Because it looks like, I might have just learned something too, because it looks like the pulse route is even pulling. It's pulling the Cloud a little bit inside. Let's do something like this. See, now there's not really a window. Delete this part, clutch. Delete this last part, clutch. What the fuck is this Cloud doing, clutch? Alright, I got a part coming up. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm trying to think. Again here, we can use it's good to use pull routes as well for crossing routes. Again, crossing routes usually can kind of get over regardless, but again, it's usually better with a pull route. So here, this was just a normal crossing route, and again, the Cloud's responsibility is to play that outside, and since the crossing route is the only receiver in his area, the Cloud is able to play this crossing route really closely here. So how we're going to adjust to this, again, is just by putting a flat. And that's going to be to kind of hold the Cloud here. So I'll do something like this. Again, this is a concept I really used, that I really liked in Madden 19, that I ran in clubs. So here, now that we have the flat, not only do we have kind of a 2v1 matchup, but this is going to drop the, that's going to kind of drop the Cloud. So that's kind of another reason why to utilize these pull routes, is to kind of hold zones and kind of even drop zones. So it can kind of do two things at once. So not only like pull a route out, so we've been mainly talking about utilizing the pull routes to kind of pull a route towards the sideline, but pull routes can also drop a zone down as well, and that's kind of what happens here. So, and that's why you want to, that's why when you're running these crossing routes, these slants, you know, these running back out routes, again, you want to be utilizing these flats on the outside, these out routes on the outside, these smoke screens on the outside, you know, to kind of hold these zones, to push them towards the sideline, or even push them down, to hold them down. And again, I used to have a play, I ran this, it'll be on YouTube, versus Kiv, where I slanted my tight end and put X on a smoke screen, just to kind of hold the purple. But I can do this instead. So again, a good concept versus cover three is it's kind of like a crossing route and a slant, because again, unless it's cover two is the only one that will have like all these hooks and stuff over the middle of the field. But besides that, versus cover three, we kind of just need a route. Versus cover three, we really just need a route to pull out. To pull out the purple, and then that's what's going to open up the slant. Because as I talked about in the beginner's manual, what's it called? The hook zones are not too good in Madden, so you can kind of lowball a lot of routes right at them. So again, here we're going to use a smoke screen to hold. And watch how that pulls out. Oh, I hit the wrong I hit the wrong button, but I had this. You see how the purple got pulled out by the smoke screen? That's going to open up the slant, and I just hit the wrong button, but look at how the slot here, and this is a 99 overall corner. Again, he's pulled out by the smoke screen. Again, his responsibility is to guard the sideline, and when we play, have a receiver on the sideline just kind of as a pull route or to kind of hold his zone. That's what's going to open up other routes here, and that's what opened up the slant right here. And you saw even at pre-snap we had 2 hook zones over there, and again, hook zones aren't great in Madden. So the biggest thing is really kind of manipulating these purples or flats, and again, that's why we use these smoke screens and arrows to kind of pull them towards the sideline and open up these little passes over the middle of the field. So again, I'll do that again here. And again, watch how the slot corner reacts. Watch how the slot corner reacts. And we actually use an out route here. It's going to be the same thing. See, again, and that's the reason why I usually use smoke screens instead. It's a little cleaner because the out route in Madden 21 will bounce. But you still saw it here. So, again, not the slot, but again, I guess the free safety here was the one in the purple. And you see how this purple is getting pulled towards the sideline? Again, it's because we have this route on the outside to hold the zone. So he has to, again, play his first responsibility first, and that's this outside. He does that, and that's what's going to give up or open up this slant over the middle of the field for us. So now let me show you guys without that route. So again, let's run a slant again over the middle of the field. But again, we're not going to have a pull route here. Yeah, and watch how much tighter of a throw. And, you know, the slant could still be there, but it's going to be so much tighter now. And, again, like, it's just, the guy's is right there now. This makes it almost, yeah, a pass you don't want to throw. And it's all because we didn't have that pull route on the field. So, again, this guy was in the purple. I guess it's, the assignments are switching when we motion over, but... so again, this guy is in the purple, and again, the purple's responsibility is to kind of play this outside, really like any curl routes. But as you see, he's not going to fully run towards the outside. Again, because again, there's nobody. He sees these zones are smart. They know that there's no one over here, so there's no reason for him, you know, to commit to this spot on the field because there's no route to hold him. So again, he's able to kind of play over in the middle of the field. And again, look at how tight of a window this is to throw the slant, compared to before where we had a really, you know, easy window to throw this pass here. Again, that's all because of the pull route. And again, maybe could you still fin this pass? Maybe. More often than not, are you going to get picked? Probably so. So, again, that's why pull routes are so essential to developing route combinations. Again, that's probably the #1 tool I use and developing my route combinations.